Okay, so good morning or evening, depending on when you're watching this video. What you're going to see today is a training for a brand new person getting started. How to make sure that you get paid accurately and on time, which for us is every Friday with no delay. Everything that occurs from Friday at midnight to the next Friday night at midnight is paid to you the following Friday. It is also going to show you how to do retail sales, how to post on social media, different apps and different things you'll want to download on your phone to be helpful, some getting started sheets, and being able to get plugged in. But I do want to start with this. And my wife is really, really adamant with everybody that she trains that until you decide what your why is, why did you join this company? Because let me assure you, even though you're new, those of us that are old, none of us grew up to do this. I mean, I think Dr. Kristal is one of the few people I've ever met that she grew up with network marketing parents and kind of was in her blood, although she did become a chiropractor before she came back to home where both money and time exist, unlike the real jobs. But what is your why? So Ashley, share a little bit on the why, and then Kristal, I want you to share your why. Like, why did you shut down your chiropractic practice and go full time here?
Well, I was just meeting with a couple just a few minutes ago, and the husband was not on board, and he's on board now. They sat down. They're just sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck, and that was really ours. I mean, when you're going to go do something different, extra, and new, you've got to know why you're doing it. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of flounder out here. It's so easy to quit when the kids get sick, the dog gets sick, the car, it's not working right. You don't want to, you're just tired. It's easy to quit. But if you write it down, draw it out, get very specific on why you're doing this, then when you do want to quit, that means you've got to tear off that piece of paper, wad it up, and throw it in the trash. I just can't see throwing our kids into the trash, throwing our dreams that we really want, just that little bit of extra, and throwing that into the trash. So it makes it a little bit harder. So then, you could go to bed that night, wake up the next day and get ready and go, okay, I'm going to do it one more day. I'm going to give it one more day. I'm going to give it one more day. And then that one more day turns into a year to 2 years. And you look up and here we sit looking at each other when we just dropped our youngest son off at college. And everybody else all the parents were there. They all moved into the apartments together. Well, all of those kids' parents had to go back home and go to a job on Wednesday and Thursday. We got to look at each other and go, well, let's just go to South Beach and let's go spend a couple of days. And we just did our Zooms from there. And then, we went up to Daytona and did a meeting. But this is where we're looking at and going, we can really work from anywhere. Why not? And we didn't know that when we got started. We just knew we wanted something different and to get, we're so sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck, but we wrote all that down and it's very, very specific. You got to do that. That's the most important thing because you will quit before you really get started here.
So Kristal, Chris, and Anthony, in that order, y'all go ahead and share your whys. Give everybody an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very similar to what you just talked about. It's freedom. I want freedom. I mean that in every sense of the word. What gets in my way of doing what I want, when I want, how I want. And so, yes, I was making $500,000 a year as a doctor, but what got in my way? A schedule that I had to go in during the week, money, unlimited amount, like all my money was spoken for. It was going to employees. It was going to taxes. The only way for me to get more of it was to put more on my plate. Like there wasn't enough time. And so for me, I want freedom of time. I want freedom of money. I want freedom of, you name it. I want to do what I want when I want. And if something gets in the way, it gets eliminated, period. That's my why. I want to be free.
Chris?
So for me, I mean, it was obviously, I think your why can change over time. I've been full-time 21 years, but when I started here, I'll be very honest, I was flat broke. I went through bankruptcy after leaving the company, and I didn't even know about this industry. But for me, it was getting back just to get started, to get something going again. So my why originally, and I did start this business because I thought no offense, Todd, I met this football coach who's doing pretty good. And I just saw a way to make some income again. And I was not really thinking I'd still be here 20 years later, but then I learned the industry and realized what I didn't know. I hate to say it that way, but I was a business guy. I'm a guy, if you look at it, it's only had 2 W-2 forms in his life, 2. So I've always worked for myself. But
And you're 67, right?
Yeah, I'm 67. Don't even have to bring that part up. So, but at any rate, the fact of the matter is that I started because I needed to make money. And I heard Todd say you didn't grow up to do this. I can assure you, I didn't even want to do this. But what I did need was income, period. It didn't matter what, I couldn't find anything to do. And so the fact of the matter was, what I started out to change, it changed over time. And I think Kristal just wanted her time freedom back. I had plenty of time right then. I was broke and unemployed. So I was looking for something. So it's all different for everybody. But as time went along, I met some of those original goals. Then I realized how much was available here. And so what I do it now for is I enjoy it, but I love the time freedom. And I love what Ashley said. They went to South Beach. Today, I was supposed to be at a football game that got canceled, but I do a whole lot of work from my boat. I sit on my boat a lot and just work my business. I make phone calls. I'm able to do Zooms. So time freedom for me. Anthony?
Yeah, and for me, mine started when I was young, watching my mom work 2-3 jobs at a time, not getting to spend time with her, watching my grandfather work 2 or 3 jobs just to take care of the family as well. So just watching everybody work, I said, okay, well, if I go to school, I thought that was the dream answer. And then I watched so many of my friends go to school and they still were stuck in that same rat race. And so I always wanted freedom. Like Dr. Kristal said, I wanted time freedom. I wanted financial freedom. That's what I truly wanted. And of course, over time, your why is always going to grow. And I just never forget the time that when I did have a job, they telling me I couldn't take off to take care of my grandmother. And I said, well, that's not going to work, because when somebody that you love and care about, they need attention and you want to be there for them. But you also got to make income. And this opportunity has really allowed me to do that. And that was my why. That's my why for doing this.
Yes. The last thing I'll say there, at the risk of offending someone, but I don't mean it offensive, but most people conform to society and what their friends think or what they think their friends think. Their friends don't even think it, but they think they do. So we end up all working this job and we end up with a title. We get to tell everybody our title. I'm the head coach of a football team. I'm the vice president of a bank. I'm the VP of you name the corporation. And we spend our whole life based around a title. And in secret, we ain't got a damn dime to spend. We're broke, flat broke, because those traditional jobs very seldom ever get anybody ahead. They just meet the basic needs. So what this is a way to get ahead. You don't quit your job on day one here. This is another stream of income, a secondary stream of income. And for most people, that may be all that it ever is. But if you start making an extra $1,000 a week here, $4,000 extra a month, you can do some damage. You can pay some credit cards off. You could pay a car off. You could upgrade lifestyle a little bit, which I warn against early on. You don't want to upgrade until you've got the debt paid off. But then later on is after you get to that type of income, you now get a choice. Do I want to work this hard? Do I want to master this skill? Do I want to pour into other people and help them do what I just did? And that is get a little bit ahead in life. And if you decide to do that, as Chris, Anthony, and Dr. Kristal have all done, then this industry will pay you millions. There is no cap. There is, I'll repeat that. You can make $1 million a year at this. You can make $2 million a year at this. You can make $3 million a year at this.
We don't put you in a box and tell you what your worth is and how much you're going to get paid an hour. That's what's so unique and different here. You get to decide that for yourself. And for some people, that's hard because
it's a very mirror reflected business. If my business sucks, that pretty much means I suck at this. And I always say that the first thing a person's got to learn in network marketing is personal responsibility. You can't blame your upline. Nobody owes you anything. And you can't blame your downline that aren't interested in working, because more than likely you weren't interested either when you first began. You've got to become very inspirational. You've got to help people a lot. Oh, my magical statement I tell everybody is everybody doesn't have to work hard at this, but somebody's got to work really hard at it. So the second you become that somebody, everybody in your organization is going to be better. When you're not that somebody, you're now dependent upon somebody up above you working really hard, and it's never going to get you what you could actually do if you decided to work hard. And that all goes with your why. And I love what Doyle said, because what he said is going to be true for 100% of the people. Your initial goal or why that you're going to write down, once you start making progress towards it, I don't know that you'll ever achieve it, because long before you actually arrive, you're going to start understanding the possibility, and your goals and why are going to change. When I met Doyle, he was trying to survive. He had lost $1 million company, and he was looking for livable money. But today he wants 72-foot boat money. There's a big difference between those two whys, but he grew into that. And it didn't take Chris long. I think it took about a couple of years for him to already start changing those goals out of what he wanted. Season tickets to Tennessee games, be able to be at all the games, drive his boat to the game. So, you know, we all start in survival mode and then we move in, because I don't think anybody will ever do what it takes to do this if they enter in the beginning only for the superficial stuff like the boat. The initial grunt work it takes to get good at something new requires a really big why. Anything anybody wants to say there? And we'll move forward and now talk about the fundamentals.
I'm going to add one thing to what you said, Todd, because not about me, but someone said to me once, if your why doesn't make you have tears, then it's not a big enough why, and you probably will not make it. And it was a man said, you know, in my case, it was, I just wanted to contribute to the family again. And I was in that place where I couldn't find work. So after losing $8 million, I was gone to a different place. So I think sometimes you'll change, but the fact of the matter is, if you are skeptical, and my wife was, by the way, she didn't even want me to do it. Now she's my biggest supporter, of course, because she's seen the success. But you'll get those stages in your life that'll change. But if you keep the why, I mean, I love it. Why is so critical. And
it's
and
everything.
Write it down. It's everything. I can still show you all mine from 21 years ago. Can you believe that? Still on that desk right behind me. I can go back there and get it and pick it up. It'll tell you what I was trying to accomplish. Debt free was one on the list. So everybody's got a different one. I just want to add that.
I'll just say this one last piece is that a good life is the enemy of a great life. So if you're living comfortable and you're good with where you're at, and you don't sit down and really create that why, that's going to be the enemy that's going to stop you, that keeps you from getting that great life that's just right there at your fingertips.
Chris, she's talking to you. I'm sending you a picture of a new boat.
I knew that was for me. I actually was texting, asked as you said it, and I said that was for me.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to call any names or anything, but you know.
Okay, so now let's get into the fundamentals. First things first. So we all know, I mean, everybody that's watching this has paid their $29.95. You've got your global virtual franchise, and that's exactly what it is. Andrew and Melissa Jackson coined that name, and it's the best name I've ever heard in 20 years of what we really do, because we're not a home-based business anymore, because you can work this business from your phone, your iPad, you can work from anywhere. And I tell you, I got cold chill bumps a couple mornings ago on our leadership call when Willie Fells, who played professionally in Canada, coached 20-something years, has just gone full-time with us. He called on the call and said, it hit me this morning. He said, I just realized that I'm a global virtual franchise, because he actually recruited a stranger named Francesca in the Home Depot parking lot of the town he lives in of Enterprise, Alabama. Little did he know, Francesca has roots all over the world. She's actually originally from France. She has family in France who's already signed up. Caledonia, they've got family there. St. Martin, Australia. So Willie found himself zooming into multiple countries from his phone in a little bitty town called Enterprise, Alabama. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is real. You don't have to know somebody somewhere else. You just have to know somebody. They're going to know somebody somewhere else. But when you do start, after you got your global virtual franchise, you do have to qualify your business. In my opinion, this is the hardest part of the whole thing to understand, because there's so many moving dynamics here. So we're going to take our time. You're welcome to ask questions in the chat. So when you do start, you've got to make a minimum purchase of enough product to qualify your business at least at activated level, which is a 200-point purchase. But there are 4 business levels that you can achieve by simply buying or selling more product. It can be done on day 1 with an initial bigger pack, or you can work your way there. You have 4 Fridays to get it done. From the time you sign up, you'll just look at the Friday on your calendar, and then you will count out till the 4th Friday. Everything that you are buying or selling is going to be counting towards you going to Ultimate. You will not be getting paid on it. It is counting towards your business qualification. That's the first 4 Fridays.
Even customers.
Even customers.
That come in.
Yeah, if you send a smart link out and somebody buys a product, or you place a one-time order for somebody, everything that you are doing is counting toward you getting to that Ultimate, which requires 1,500 points of product. Anything anybody wants to add there, and then we're going to talk about a few packs that can help you. By the way, you have 8 weeks to get it done, but the computer system will not do it automatically after the 4th Friday. It's actually just going to start paying you and let it randomly place. So during that next 4 Fridays, if you're going to place an order or you sell a product to somebody and you want it to count toward Ultimate, you absolutely must call it in. You can get somebody in your upline that's an officer. They can call the Elite line. The Elite line's really good at making that happen in 2 seconds, but I think about everybody in Rep Services now is up to speed on how to do it. And then for some reason, somebody doesn't make Ultimate in their first 8 weeks. You cannot do this call in Rep Services, but you can find an officer or above that can get a hold of the Elite line and 3-way you in, and you can make a one-time purchase for the difference needed. So if you were sitting there at 700 points of product, which would make you business level, and you woke up one day and said, I need to be Ultimate. If you want to place an order for the remaining 800 points and count it toward going Ultimate, you'll just need somebody to 3-way you in to make that happen. It cannot be done via the computer system or calling Rep Services normally, but it can happen.
And it can't be given volume, place volume, or customers.
That's right.
It has to come from you.
That's right. It's just it's not even supposed to happen. So they're kind of making that exception for everybody out there involved. So it does have to be a one-time order for the difference needed to get you there once that 8 weeks. You've got 8 weeks to build it. These are some packs that a lot of people start with at that 200-point level. You can see there the 4 boxes of drops. Use 1, sell 3 is the mantra with that pack. I won't go into the packs there. Everybody sees what they are. There are obviously other things too. Those are not the only packs. You just need 200 points. You can a la carte 200 points. Those are just 3 packs that a lot of people use in their businesses. These are some of the bigger packs. Kim Grace says it better than anybody I've ever heard say it. But Kim is always sharing with her new people that, if anybody that's ever owned like a boutique or any type of small business knows that the more quantity you buy, the better discount you get. So our company's no different. And we're probably one of the best I've ever seen in network marketing at doing this. So you can buy bigger packs. You can do the 10-pack of drops, get the price down to $870, which a normal 30% discount wholesale purchase is $122. They retail at $176. So you can make a crazy great profit by doing that. You can do the 888 pack if you're talking about all 3 big products, or you can do 15 and 15 if you're a slenderized MOA fan. And there are other packs. Don't get lost in these. These are just the ones that the majority of the teams on this call use. But those are all. So I'll turn it to you guys. Any comments, things you want to clear up, things that you encounter?
Well, I think the only thing I would add to that is I think sometimes people think about the investment. And I laughed about that a lot because the fact of the matter is that when I opened my first company, I lost money and it cost me $550,000. I never made a dime. So, so it's an investment in yourself. That's just starting your business. Whatever level you decide is for you is okay. There's not anything wrong with whatever you start. Just get started.
So when you do become Ultimate, you have locked in 30% on what's called the new volume bonus. You've also locked in gold status, which is crazy important. We'll go back to that later in the pay plan. But gold status is the most important thing you could ever get done here. So when you are ultimate, that means when you place an order on somebody that you have personally sponsored, your back office allows you to do that. When you go to your shopping cart, throw a product in there, it's going to say your customer, but it's also going to say place on another brand partner. You put in their ID, you've sponsored them, and they've been in the company less than 4 Fridays. You put it on them. No matter how much you're ordering, up to 1,500 points is going to pay you 30%. So going back to that 10-pack, if you place a 10-pack order on somebody else after you've achieved the title of ultimate, it's $870, but you get $150 back because it's a 500-point purchase times 30% is $150. So that pack now is down to $720. Your cost retailing at $176. So basically a chance to make $100 a box there if you're straight retailing it.
That was fast.
Go ahead.
No, that was fast.
You need to reiterate.
Maybe. No, I'm kidding.
Kristal, anything there? Okay. So now let's talk about, we've got our ultimate status achieved. Now let's start making money. And we make money here doing 2 things. One, we make money by selling products retail. We also make money by finding other people that want to be a brand partner. We do not get paid for signing up a brand partner, but we do get an override commission based upon the products that they sell. And that becomes very substantial into time. We're going to talk about how that works in 1 second, but let's talk about selling retail first. These are, in my opinion, some really good Facebook sites to go look at. If you see their picture here, every single person that is pictures up made north of $5,000 in less than 1 month retailing product. Chelsea's only been in the company now less than 2 months, but she made $7,000 here her first 6 weeks in the company. 99% of it was retail. There was a lot of new volume bonus associated with the product she was buying to retail, but between new volume bonus and retail profits. Stephanie Wilson, same thing, a school teacher in a little bitty town in the Panhandle of Florida. Did
not go back to work this year because of her partnerCo business.
Yes, you signed up when? April.
Yeah.
Joined us in April, went full speed, and she's been a school teacher most of her life and just decided she was tired and did not go back this year. She is full-time partnerCo now. Sherry Key, North Carolina, she sells at straight retail, $176. And I know that when she launched on her social media site, she sold like 150 boxes at $176 in about 2 weeks. And so, you know, if you count the new volume bonus, everything included, she was making the difference between about $80 and $176 on 150 boxes. I think I've heard her say the $12,000 range is what she made there over that time period. There are more. There is Buffy up in North Alabama, Robin, Krista, Krista. She's been an amazing success.
She really has. She has grown into this, like, I'm just blown away by her. So yeah, her post, she's so natural at what she does in her post. And I mean, every time, it seems like every other day she's ordering a 10 box of drops, 10 box of drops, 10 box of drops. And now she's taking those customers and converting them into brand partners. And now she's got a team of herself growing out here as well.
Yeah. So if you have a good upline, and I think most people do, you can do what Robin's done. So Robin, she texted me last night because she only lacks about 1,000 points scoring senior officer this week. So that girl has now made about $80,000 since March 15th in our company. She's never done a meeting, ever. She just sells drops on her social media. And when she finds those that want to become a brand partner, she flips them over to somebody on her team or to Ashley or Kim Gray or somebody to go work with them. So you can absolutely do this without having to do the network marketing side and make crazy money. But Dr. Kristal, you've elevated. You've taken us now to a whole new realm because you took what a lot of people were really good at and now made it into a system. You and David Daltrey, who built the actual scripts, and then y'all combined, you and Ashley Paulson, y'all got the Facebook groups. By the way, this is not the only Facebook group. This is not to diminish anybody else's group. All groups are equally as important. You need your own group, but this circle of health is exceptionally run well. So it's not a bad idea to have them in a private group with you and a bigger group like Circle of Health. So Dr. Kristal, I'm going to let you explain real quick what you do with these customers after you get them by selling on social media, how you put them in the group, and then what that group does.
Yeah, absolutely. So people start on the drops and they're excited about it, but they're a little bit overwhelmed because most people have tried everything, right? And they're like, how is this going to be any different? And what we know is that if somebody tries to do it by themselves, meaning get themselves rebalanced, do the drops all by themselves, they have a 90% fail rate. Meaning they're going to order the drops 1 month and never order again.
So, Kristal, I got to interject one thing there. Both business, improving somebody's finances, and or improving their health are two things that everybody in every country on planet Earth wants. Even the billionaires are trying to make more money. So if I'm sitting out there living paycheck to paycheck, or I'm sitting out there overweight and unhealthy, it's not because I don't want to be healthy and make more money. It's because I've just never found the right vehicle or the right amount of discipline or the product or been taught right or been in a support group. So what Kristal just said is going to apply both business and weight loss 100% of the time. They don't plug in, 90% fail. They do plug in, 90% succeed. That's the whole reason I built this slide for this call, because these groups, either that you're doing for your own team or the bigger groups that are kind of letting everybody in, are fundamentally the difference maker. Sorry, Kristal, but that's just so important.
And I'll add one more thing to that. If they get on the drops and they don't really know how much weight they want to lose, or they don't, because I've talked to a couple of women like that, and I'm thinking, well, if you don't know what you want, how you want to lose, like where are we going with this? Because you always kind of want to know, like, what's your journey here? What is you trying to achieve with the drops, And so if they don't really know what they're trying to achieve with the drops, they're just taking them because Sue's taking them. That goes back, you got to kind of pull that out wide and then kind of move forward. And that's plugging them in here too, on this too.
Yeah. So the circle of health has become a community of people. And inside of this is what we would call in business an ad tag message page, which stands for ATM. And if you understand that, every single time you place one of your customers in here, it's going to pay like an ATM. So you add your customer, you tag them inside of here. A lot of people find a post that they like, or there's a let's get started video at the top that you can tag them in. But when you tag them, it sends them a notification so that they can find the group. Okay, so you add, you tag, and then you message them. When you message them, you let them know you've added them to the circle of health and you're excited for them to have some results. And then during the week, for me personally, I go through and I will tag my people who are in their first and second week of drops in messages to keep them, right? I am their biggest cheerleader. And so I'm cheering. I use this group to do that. Anything and everything they need is inside of here, but they are becoming a part of the community. They're building trust. That's massive for the next place that we're going to roll, which is over into moving someone from just being a customer to paying that $29.95 and converting over to being a brand partner. Because at the end of the day, a customer who has a subscription of 100 PV is really no different than a brand partner who has a subscription of 100 PV, except they paid $29.95 one time.
So good, Dr. Kristal. So make sure two things. One, you're plugging them into some of the bigger groups, the Renew You group, the Level Up Life group, the Circle of Health. But then for those of you out there that are selling or plan on selling large amounts of weight loss product or any other product, You need your own group also that you can communicate with them daily, a safe place for them to ask questions. And what will build in very rapidly for you is an arsenal of people helping to answer the questions, because you'll have people that kind of go through the process. You'll be very, very busy in a new group for a period of time, because you're going to be the only one there to support, motivate, pick people off the mat. But over time, as people start breaking through and having their own success, they will start helping you with that. So it's just a great, great, great deal. The next thing a new person needs to do is immediately, everybody, 100% of the people, this is the one thing that maybe drives me more crazy than anything. And it's the same as football. I say it all the time, that the best athletes that I coached, they're not going to generally become the best coaches, because everything comes so natural to them. They run fast, they jump high, they just God-giving genetics. We used to call it pixie dust. That kid's got pixie dust on him. So it's the same thing, by the way, with social media. Everybody's not equal. There are some people on this call and others that are exceptionally God-giving good at this. And you just naturally are magnetic. You post well. You just know how to social media it the right way. But for the other 90% of us out here, we struggle. Like, what do I say? How do I put myself out there? We're nervous. We're scared. So thank you for David Daltrey writing the scripts and Ashley Paulson and Kristal putting it into this boards app. Now you don't even have to think. Ashley and I, not that we have any spare time in our life, but we just wanted to see the process. So we made our first Slenderized post this week. We've been selling drops all week. Every time I come home, Ashley says, we got 2 more payments in the Venmo today. And I'm like, this is fun. I like getting $150 a pop, unexpected money. But I literally took 2 seconds and took a picture of us in the kitchen, made the post. Very simple, just copycatting what I see the girls that are successful say. And then from that point forward, I never said or wrote one thing on my own. Based upon what they asked me, I went to the scripts. The scripts on here, there it is right there. So you got to click on SOG first, and then you got to click on scripts. You'll see the scripts there on the help me out. There they are, message scripts, top right. And that will open up, and just read through them. So when people would ask me ingredients, tell me more. When they ask me ingredients, there's one there that says ingredient list. I would send that, or the book. They asked me to tell me more. I sent Dr. Kristal's video, Hormone Balance. And then when they asked me questions, how much, I would go to the message script, see the script that was written for that. So literally I found out that of everybody messaging me, everybody was basically asking the same thing. So I figured it was like unless I did it like 3 times, I knew how to do it. So it's like 2 seconds to send a video, a script answering their question, and the ingredient list. And bam, all of a sudden, Ashley, the only thing we don't have done yet is my Venmo account set up. And I haven't seen the money yet. So Ashley's getting it all in her Venmo account. But Kristal, I'm going to turn it back to you. I got a little long-winded there, but you walk us through boards.
Yeah, no, that's the perfect explanation. The biggest thing, where I see an error here is you must download the boards app first before you click on the System of Growth link. Okay. It's going to make it more simple. So download the boards app to your phone. And then the next thing I see is many people go to the app and open the app and try to work from inside of the app. That's not the point of this app. The point of this app is literally that it becomes a key board on your phone. So when you go to message someone, you click in the message box, and whether you have an Android or an Apple phone, there's 2 different, because of the 2 different phone bases, software bases. You literally click in the left-hand corner on an Apple phone on the little globe. And when you click on that, it opens this up on your keyboard. So you just click and paste. It just pastes it. So instead of going out to the app, copying it, coming back to your message, pasting, like that's way too many steps. Boards is meant to be touch, send, touch, send. So make sure you're using the boards app correctly. And then the other wonderful thing about boards is when you download it, you're going to have where you can create, there's a plus sign and you can create your own. And I suggest naming it My Links. And then that's where, Todd, close your ears because we don't want you to know how to put your Venmo link in there. That's where you would put your Venmo link. It's where you would put your website, your Zoom link, anything that you're having to type more than one time a week should be inside of your boards. So you only hit it to send it. It's so nice.
Kristal, one question, because I'm getting this frequently. Everybody can download the completely free version.
Yes.
And then somebody sends you what Kristal and Ashton, everybody's already created. Don't have to pay for a dime. It's a totally free deal. But to do what you just said, to make your own thing uploaded, do you have to upgrade to something there?
I do not believe so. The only
Okay.
time that you have to pay for boards, your board with another person. It's almost like you're creating your own team board. And if you go to share the whole board with someone, then you have to, I think it's $12. I'm not sure. I think it's $12
Guys,
a
I
month maybe,
cannot-
or you can pay.
I cannot reiterate enough how easy it was. I have been petrified of posting on social media and selling a product. It's just not my natural DNA. But I'm obviously every day trying to get people to get out of their comfort zone. So I thought, why not get out of my comfort zone? So it wasn't Ashley, it was Todd that made the post. And she is the one doing the shipping though, because that was really cumbersome to me to try to get it all shipped. But she did get everybody shipped out yesterday. So it's been a team effort, but it was uncomfortable. It was not easy.
And that's why I'm keeping the money.
And I would add there, you guys, this is something I encourage you to practice with your team. Like if you haven't used boards yet, I encourage you to sit down with your upline, somebody, and just practice. Because the more you do it, the better you get. And then every new person that joins your organization, you should definitely be having 20-minute conversations with that new person and helping them. It's not always on Dr. Kristal to do it. It's not always on Ashley and Todd to do it, Chris Doyle. It's on, if you brought a new friend in, don't you want them to have success? So you should learn how to do it yourself and teach everybody new. That's what I encourage everybody to do. And everything that, if you got a question, trust me, ask your upline. But a lot of things you can also go to YouTube and Google and you can learn. All you have to do is just type in how to set up Venmo, how to set up PayPal, how to set up boards, how to do whatever you need. Google is your best friend. That's all these kids do nowadays is go to Google. So that's all we have to do as well.
I love that you said that. And the last thing I would say is don't reinvent the wheel. If you are finding something that is successful that you're doing that isn't inside of the boards, come to us and this is a collaboration. There's no boss here. Send it to us. And if we feel it's going to help more people, we'll put it inside of the boards. Because if you go and create your own boards for your team, when they get on here and it doesn't look the same, it's confusing. So the more times you recreate the wheel, the more difficult you make it, right? So stay in duplication if you can.
So Kristal, I will say this, I'll say it even stronger. The girls that started selling drops are as good at it as anybody I've encountered in 20 plus years, because Kristal and Ashley Paulson will all tell you that for Todd Rowland to have this kind of retail sales going on is such an oxymoron. I wasn't really pro social media and I really wasn't that pro true retail sales a lot. But now I am a 10,000% on board, because I always say in network marketing, the boardroom is the kiss of death, because there is a million great ideals that drawn on the board should work in our industry. But on the front lines, it just hardly ever works. So I'm very anti anybody's ideal until I see that person with the ideal making money at it. And I would caution you, never pay for anything you see advertised on social media, because it never works. If it worked, they wouldn't be selling it to you on social media. They'd be using it themselves. You're not going to see us selling our boards app on social media. We don't want no other company to know it. So it is, you know, this system was, the girls that started making all these crazy sales, they're beyond reproach in their abilities. Then you've got the David Daughtry's, the Dr. Kristals, the Anthonys, the Brent Palmers, the Andreas, the Ashley Paulsons, all the ones that have real network marketing experience stepped in and started bridging the gap of the actual retail sales into actually building the walkaway residual income in network marketing. And then David Daughtry, who is as good at this business as anybody I have in my whole organization. He's really, really a smart guy, very, very good, has worked it hard part-time for 4 years. So he has all the trials. He's the one that started developing the scripts based upon trial and error and based upon what he was studying from what the success the girls were doing. So this boards app, you're not going to beat it. Like, if you do, just go beat it and show us, but don't, like Kristal said, I will strongly make your own groups. You know, you need to be personal with your people on Facebook. But I also encourage you to put some of your people in some of the bigger groups too. You don't have to put them in all, put them in the ones you like, the people that you resonate with. But the boards app is, man, that thing, I don't even have to guess it anymore because I did it myself. I honestly cannot believe how much money Ashley has collected in her Venmo account. It just blows my mind.
And to know, to take that one step more removed from us, is that when, you know, it works when somebody that's has been sitting out there dormant for 2 or 3 or 4 months, and all of a sudden when you hear from them and they're wanting to know how to place somebody because they've converted a customer to a brand partner, and we had no hands on in any of that. And when I just found out, she's like, yeah, I've sold like 20 or 30 boxes in the last 2 weeks, and I've made this kind of money. And
so here's how you know.
And that was completely, that was without any of our help at all. And that's what you want. You want this duplicating out so far out. That's when you know something's working and you don't have to reinvent it.
So last week was a record week for the company and for sure our business on title advancements. I think we had close to 70 title advancements in our business last week. So Ashley spent yesterday making flyers, not all made yet. She's still working on it if yours hasn't flown out there yet. But I was scrolling through Facebook this morning early, commenting on everybody, and I was blown away with how many people I did not know who they were. I don't even know who signed them up. And in network marketing, that is what you're dreaming of, because generally speaking, you know, if you're a hardworking person here, you're a part of a lot of the growth a lot of the time. So seeing all of this new growth that's randomly happening now because of the retail sales, the boards, the systems that are now in place, the duplication, the simplicity is really just, I mean, it's what you got to have to send a company in momentum. So I'm telling you, it's happening. You do not want to sit on your hands the next 36 months here, because there's about to be some crazy money made.
And go ahead. Well, I'll cover that in a minute.
Okay. We're about 5 minutes left. And I just want to make sure that you understand, once you start converting customers, or listen, there's always the business approach too. We're just not probably going to get to that approach today, although should be 50% of your business just setting up business approaches. The other 50% is customers and moving them over to brand partners into time.
And when you're doing that, just so you know, this is naturally, you are creating your very own pipeline by when you're doing the sales, the retail sales with the drops to the customers. That is a natural pipeline that you are creating for your potential brand partners.
So once you do start creating brand partners, you obviously will make the new volume bonus we've already talked about when you sponsor them. If you're ultimate, you'll get 30% of what they're buying for the first 4 weeks, up to 1,500 points or $450.
All the volume, not dollars, the volume.
But then you're going to start placing those new personal sponsors in 2 legs or 3, whichever one you decide to start out with. But this is an illustration of 2. So just remember that you're always going to sponsor to the bottom of your weakest leg, straight down that leg at the very bottom. Let everybody share in the volume you're putting in. But then you're going to start getting, this is your residual income. Chris, I know you do it every Saturday morning, but our Saturday morning residual is growing exponentially right now. I could not believe what we made this morning when we woke up on a new week. So with zero production, you wake up on Saturday mornings once you have a business with subscribe and saves, reoccurring customers, you name it, that you're going to wake up Saturday morning with a new week of business already for most people that have been doing it a while, more than you could ever make in a real job. And then you've got the growth that's going to occur all week because you got new brand partners, the volume they buy all creates volume. The random purchases people are making that are in your business when they sell products via smart links, auto ships, you name it. And you're going to be paid if you're building 2 legs, 15% unlimited of every sale that occurs, no matter where it's coming from. And then eventually you're going to build more than, our thing froze up here. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Eventually you're going to be building at least 3 legs, maybe more, and you're going to be paid 15% of every leg you ever build. But this is one thing I wanted to get to today, because if you're becoming a leader, you must master this. So what you've got to learn how to do is you've got to learn how to go into your X office. You're going to click on My Money. And when you click on My Money, you're then going to click on Volume. And when you click on Volume, you're going to get this page. So your back office, click on those 4 lines at the top left, click on My Money, then click on Volume. You're going to be looking here to see what your weaker leg is. It's the only place in your whole back office that really identifies it. It is not the tree. You cannot tell anything by the tree until you look at this. Once you look at this, you will then go to your tree. You can do it by clicking on My Business Tree, or you can just go to New Enrollment. When you go to New Enrollment, you can click on the tree there. When you click on that tree, you now know what leg, and then just go find the bottom person of your pay leg of whatever one you've identified you're sticking that person on, your weaker leg that week. Kristal, Anthony?
I want to add one thing, Todd. I mean, this system's blown my mind, and I'll have to say this. I was not on board early on because I'm hard, old school, did the way I've always done it. But I've seen the result from people in my business, and Ashley mentioned people that have been not doing nothing for 3 or 4 months. I can give you people on my own team that have been in this business 7 or 8 years just because they love the product. My niece in particular, Carla, she's blown away. But there's a real critical factor here. Just getting them in the system on the drops, you got to make sure you follow up. That's just the beginning. So don't think just because you sold them drops, you're done. You've got to finish that part. And that's a hard training. We just talked about stuff for 1 hour and showing you how to do things, but you've got to continue the follow up and build. And I saw somebody put it in the chat. I think it was Christy, build the relationship. You got to build a relationship for the follow up later. That's the critical part of our business, is relationships. And we're better together. I mean, this is not golf where you're playing against yourself. This is a team, and you'll work with, my goodness, I'm blown away by the people I get to work with. I mean, like Dr. Kristal, I had somebody text me, Dr. Kristal, I have 3 texts. She's absolutely amazing. Sorry, Todd, nobody said that about you. Dr. Kristal, going to, Chris. But I'm saying that not to brag on her, but I want you to know that as a team, I mean, we all know who, of course, I shouldn't use Peyton Manning. We all know who Tom Brady is. Who's Tom Brady's center? I guarantee you, he didn't make any passes complete without that guy. And I don't know who it was. I don't have a clue. But my point I'm making is there's going to be people, Todd said, do better, but you got to plug into all these people and listen to what they're doing, but follow up with your people. You will hit you with Dr. Kristal. Somebody sponsored her, and I don't even know who. How's that? I think Robin, or maybe Tank. I don't know. Does it matter?
Ashley Paulson. Kristal and Ashley Paulson business.
Okay, no, so, Robin DeMio sponsored me. And Ashley is downline of me.
Oh, got you. Oh, sorry, Ashley. Poor you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean. No. I know, but I mean, I thought I was giving her a whole book of business.
Yeah.
But I'm just wanting to make that clear is that we're guys. If you'll listen, I get people that want to reinvent the wheel and they try to give me new ideas. They've never done it. Why in the world, if you've got Tom Brady teaching you to play quarterback, I'm going to listen. If I've got Kristal teaching me a system that she developed and is having success. Listen, Todd Rowland's made millions in this business. Listen, I used to tell my people this a few years ago, catch me by income, then do it your way. Till you catch me by income, do it my way. I'm gonna say that again. Do it my way till you catch. And by the way, you're gonna have some catching to do to catch Todd Rowland's income, Dr. Kristal's income, Brent Palmer's income. Those incomes are not going to be easy for you to catch. So do what they're doing. Brent Palmer was not an easy, he's like me. We were hard. We were like, what? He's like, I didn't want to sell drops, but it opens the funnel. That's all I'm trying to point out. To get you the leads, you don't need to pay for, who's that guy that's always trying to sell click funnels or something? Hey, I never had any success with them things. The relationships is what you're trying to develop. I'm sorry, I got off track. I just thinking about the things that make this business successful, but that's what you've got people to help you. Listen to what they do and do it. And then if it don't work for you, then you can change, but do what they do first.
So if you're watching this video, there's still about 5 other ways you get paid, but we are out of time. We'll do an actual pay plan training at some point, but I do want everybody knowing that if you're new, it's the easiest for you out of anybody in the company to win our free vacations. We have 2 a year. The global vacation's a little harder to win. That generally is to Tahiti, where one of our core products come from, Noni. We have the exclusive rights to that island's Noni, which is the best in the world, where most of the clinical studies on Noni have been done. And we support an orphanage there, or we manufacture there. But we also go there globally, meaning you'll go there with people from China, Japan, Australia, Europe. You'll end up with friends all around the world. This year, we're going to fly to Tahiti, but then we're going to hop on a luxury cruise ship, not a big one, a luxury one, 5-star cruise ship. We're going to island hop, not like you do in the Caribbean where you're sailing all the time. These islands are fairly close together. They're some of the prettiest places that exist on planet Earth, still very rural, just crazy beautiful. Ash and I, the Cayman Islands had been our favorite place we'd ever been, but it is now Tahiti. Last year's trip was just mind-boggling good. So you can win it. You've got to make $25,000 in the pay plan between now and December 31st for 1 ticket. You got to make $45,000 for 2. So if only one spouse wins it, you'll be roomed with somebody of equal sex, female with female, that also only won 1 ticket if you do win that trip. If you win 2, you can take obviously spouse or child or whoever you want to, I'm assuming, if you win that second ticket. But they are going to announce in September at our convention our North American trip. Last year it was to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It was 4 nights, 5 days. It was awesome. And they're going to announce the one that you can win in September. It'll be much, much easier to win than Tahiti, like 10% as hard, 90% easier to win. So make sure you get in line to start winning those. And then if your team doesn't have a get it started sheet, Anthony, if you don't mind, throw your cell phone number, Ashley's cell phone number in there, and Dr. Kristal's cell phone number in there. So depending on who's all, or James Zing, a cell phone in there's Brent Palmer, but all of those people have groups, getting started sheets. They all probably vary just a little bit. There's obviously a lot of new groups that have come along since this particular sheet was made. So now we should have Circle of Health on there too, and some others. But that will get a person at least some basic stuff: rep services telephone number, how to access their back office, who their upline is, some different Zoom links like this Saturday morning's call, the different IPA calls that go on. So make sure you got that screenshotted on your computer or whatever now if you don't have this. But if you'll get those numbers and get in some of our bigger group text, and you don't have this, whoever you ask will send it to you or send you theirs of whatever they've got going on there. So anyway, we're out of time, but we are going to stop sharing screen, and anything that moderators want to say or any pertinent questions somebody needs answered, throw it in the chat, and we'll end this morning.
I just want to say that as you were talking, I received someone asking for a box of drops. So I jumped in with their email and their address into Pirate Ship. I printed off the label. I stuck it on the box. I'm going to go put this in the mailbox because I just made $50 while we were on here. And that's how we did it.
How it's done, right?
We did not mention that, but Pirate Ship is in the boards app. When you download that, and by the way, when you put that information in today for whatever leader you're a part of, and you don't have the boards app that's been created, just tell them you've got to download it, the app on your phone, but then they can send you the download that puts everything into that app for you. You don't have to do a single thing. And then just go in there and play around texting yourself, like practice using those scripts, different things. You'll see how easy it is once you do it. I was surprised how easy it really was to convert a picture on a Facebook site into a couple $1,000s of earned income. It's just mind-boggling to me. I just cannot believe it. I'm still sitting in amazement. Well, everybody have a super great week, a blessed Saturday. I know it's hot everywhere in the country except out west. You guys enjoy it and send us one of those cold fronts our way.
Have a great day.